Was that the best game so far of the World Cup? I think it might have just been. That was absolutely unbelievable. Just goals galore, so much action, two teams really fighting for it, and ultimately one of the best young players in the world displaying just how good he is. For me, maybe Portugal and Spain, the 3-3 draw at the start of the tournament was close, but this game just took it to another level. And this is why I always get more hyped up for the knockout stages than the group stages. Sure, the excitement of the World Cup starting, loads of games, 3 or 4 games a day sometimes, very good. But when you get to the knockout stages, when things are really, really tough, when the better teams are going against each other, and it's, make a mistake and you're out kind of thing, there's nothing like it. There is nothing like a proper knockout World Cup game. And France versus Argentina had everything. And it was hyped up to be a potential, game like it was. And it really was, just as we all expected. Just unbelievable. So ultimately, France are going through and Argentina are knocked out. Is this the final appearance for Argentina for Lionel Messi? Is he going to be retiring again from the Argentinian footballing side? Or is it just the last game in general because he doesn't want to play for Argentina anymore? Or will he stay and just not make it to the next World Cup? I mean, there's possibility he could stay with the national team until maybe he's 32, 33 and then retire. But why would you do that? I think it's either retire now or you say, nah, if I'm still good, I'll be there at the World Cup next time and we'll go again. Personally, for me, that's it, I think. I don't think we're going to be seeing him in an Argentina shirt again, which is a big shame. And there's the argument that to be the best player in the world, you need to win the World Cup. I've said it before, and I've said it many times before. I don't agree with it, but a lot of people still stand by that. And now some people are saying that Messi is no longer the greatest of all time and never will be because other players like Maradona, Pele have won all of these individual titles and a World Cup. But you've got to look at it as a team thing. You can't win the World Cup on your own. Lionel Messi cannot carry an Argentinian side to the World Cup. They almost did win it. Okay, very, very recently, actually. And it was a big shame for him. He thought maybe, just maybe in Russia they could do it, but I don't think the squad was good enough. I think they've been poor the whole tournament. Today they put in a bit more of a shift, I would say, but the management, the tactics, their formation choices, somehow not getting Dybala, Higuain and Messi in the same team. For me, and Aguero, by the way, for me that there's one formation that would have really suited them. Maybe not so favourable defensively, but the way I see it is, if you think when Liverpool almost won the league a couple of seasons ago, it was more, who cares if we concede? We'll just outscore everyone. I think that's maybe what Argentina should have been thinking, and maybe going with a 4-2-4. I know that sounds crazy, but the way you can defend with a 4-2-4, it becomes a 4-4-2. If they had maybe like a Di Maria on the left side, Messi on the right with Aguero and Higuain, and maybe Dybala sitting behind them, and then the Mascherano at DM. I know it's probably a bit too much, and it wouldn't have worked defensively at all. But I just feel like with those players on the pitch, I actually think they could have done a lot better if they got those guys in the same team. But maybe they just didn't think it was possible, and it seemed like Messi was making the decisions after their terrible loss to Croatia, of course. So Lionel Messi will not be lifting the World Cup. But I tell you what, I predicted France to win this competition, and I stand by it, because today we saw the real France. Earlier on in the tournament, they were poor. I thought that they didn't really show what they've got. They had a lot of individuals going into this tournament that have been playing very well all season long, but together it wasn't working. But today you saw a real cohesion, a team that were working hard for each other, and the individuals became a team. And that's what you need in the World Cup. And they've done it when it matters most. That's the most important thing. And, previous to this game, they'd only scored 3 goals in the 3 matches leading up to this game. They've gone ahead and scored 4 today. So that shows you, when it matters most, they've gone for it. And I thought every single one of their players had a good game today. I think Pogba was brilliant at times with his passing forward, but otherwise maybe I still think, I don't know what it is. It's like his positional awareness isn't great going back. He seems to be out of position a lot, but he's great at pinging passes up top. The pass over the top for Mbappe, who was on fire, of course, today, was for a free kick. It wasn't the penalty incident, but the pass over the top, it was just perfection. And I think if Pogba can continue doing that, who cares about his defensive abilities? When you've got Kante, Matuidi next to him, he can just be the outlet. You know, he can be the one that goes forward and provides passes for Griezmann, Giroud, and Mbappe. And let's just talk about Mbappe because, of course, he's the man of the moment. A massive move to PSG, which they would have just paid for, obviously. He was on loan with the option to buy at the end, or a forced option to buy. I think it was, 140 million euros, was it? Something crazy like that. He's worth it. I think it's clear to see that Mbappe is the real deal. I bet Madrid are kicking themselves that they didn't try just that little bit harder. I'm sure they could have afforded a little bit more. But ultimately, Mbappe chose to stay in France, so it might not have affected anything. But what we're seeing here is a 19-year-old. Let me just iterate that again. 19. What were you doing when you were 19? Or are you 19 right now? Are you sitting in your bedroom right now playing games? And, you know, he's 19 and he's out there destroying Argentina in the World Cup, round of 16. And it's just an unbelievable story. And he could have easily had a hat-trick tonight, and that would have been incredible for him. He'll never forget these games, by the way. You know, he scored in the group stages, became the youngest teenager for France to score in a World Cup, and now he's beaten Michael Owen's record, I think, the first teenager to score 2 in a World Cup game, and that was, of course, in '98, when he wasn't even born. He wasn't even born then, Mbappe. He's also, I think, beaten Pele's record as well. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think it was 1958. Pele scored 2 in a game. I can't remember what that record exactly was, but he's beaten something that Pele did. And you're looking at, for me, the next future Ballon d'Or winner. I know things can go south and players can look really good in certain tournaments and then die out. Look at Renato Sanchez, who's now, of course, at Bayern, and he's been on loan to Swansea and whatever, but had a great Euros. Everyone was saying he's going to be the next big thing. Now where is he? But with Mbappe, there's something about this kid. He is so quick. I think he might genuinely have 96, 97 pace in the next FIFA. I honestly think that he's got the finishing of a 26, 27-year-old, a striker in his prime. His intelligence, his movement off the ball, his passing. He's so skillful. He's got the work rates to go with everything as well. He might just be the next Thierry Henry or better. And that's something that's been said a lot. You know, this player will be the next Thierry Henry, you know, the next big guy from France. He's just like Thierry Henry. Everyone was saying that about Martial. He's kind of not turned into the next Thierry Henry just yet. But Mbappe, for me, there isn't really anyone else on the planet right now that plays as a striker like he does, slightly on the right, but does go through the middle as well, that just looks the real deal. He's going to be something else, and there's no doubt in my mind that he's going to be at PSG for a little while longer, but he will end up going to Madrid, Barcelona, something like that in the near future. But he's something else. And let's talk about some of the goals, by the way, because there were some absolute stunners tonight. Griezmann's penalty, obviously not very exciting, but that's 2 for Griezmann in the tournament so far. But then Di Maria with a long shot outside the box. He had so much space and time. I was shouting for him to shoot. He just whacked it with his left foot. No keeper saving that. And that, for me, was one of the best goals of the tournament. Leading up to this game, I still think it's Nacho's in the Spain-Portugal game. And funnily enough, another goal just like it went in the second half. Pavard, the youngster for France, who normally plays as a centre-back in the Bundesliga, playing right-back, which he can play. He has played there in the past. I've been doing a little bit of research on him since he was linked to Arsenal and a bunch of other big European clubs. It feels like everyone's linked to Arsenal. But whenever I hear it, I get excited and want to check him out. So he's playing at right-back for the France team at the World Cup. And let's just say he kind of looked like a striker with that finish. The way he took it, the amount of spin he got on the ball, I actually think it might be just edging it for the goal of the tournament so far. Just a bit better than Nacho's. I liked the way Nacho striked his with a bit more power and a bit more conviction, I guess. But when a goal goes in off the post twice, when it hits both posts, it doesn't look as nice as when it just rolls into the back of the net. It kind of hit the side netting and went around the goal, and I love those kind of goals. So for me, Pavard is the front runner now to get the goal of the tournament award for sure. And it was something else, that goal. It really was. The way it fell for him, beautiful. Mbappe's goals were very, very nice indeed. Some great finishes. The one where he's in the box surrounded by Argentinian defenders, he just puts it to his left and smashes it through the keeper. Should have saved it, no doubt in my mind. And the finish where he just tapped it in. Great ball from Giroud. Very nice indeed. But towards the end of the game, I think one of the most underrated goals, maybe because it didn't actually mean too much in the end, was Aguero's header when Messi clipped it into the box. The header is unbelievable, by the way. Very difficult to do that, I'm sure. But the ball from Messi, it's almost a little bit sad because that was his last involvement potentially in a World Cup ever. We're never going to see any more. So some very nice goals today, some very good football in general, and for me the best match of the tournament so far. Tonight we've got Uruguay versus Portugal. I'm going to try my best to upload a match review on every game, but of course it needs to be a game that I'm actually able to watch. There might be a couple that I miss, we'll see. But I'll be back tonight with a review of that one. But I'm not so sure it's going to beat this one. I've got a feeling this might just be the game of the tournament for now anyway. So thank you for watching. If you enjoy these match reviews, please do leave a like rating. And I will see you tonight for the review of Uruguay and Portugal, which I'm going to say Portugal win.